All right, well, we've been telling you that we are giving away a Tempest home weather station. You know, we show you the Chris 6 Neighborhood Weather Network. These are the home weather stations that power that. So we had 739 entrants into this contest, and last night we awarded the winner her Tempest home weather station. Meet Damiana Pena, who is now going to be part of the Neighborhood Weather Network on the south side. So thanks to everybody who entered to win. We appreciate it. But speaking of Tempest, let's check in with our neighbors up in the Beeville area. The Chris 6 Neighborhood Weather Network is a great way to zero in on the specifics of what's going on. Places like Beeville, sometimes our official reporting station here can miss out on details, so we rely on you all in your Tempest home weather stations to kind of fill the gaps. So this gives us some insight into B County, where we're reading 90 off Hilltop Road, 92 from our Beeville neighborhood station, and 92 off FM 504. But these lower 90s have been feeling way better than the lower 90s of weeks past. We have been missing humidity. I don't know if anybody's really been missing it too much, but it's been a nice taste of fall both in the morning and in the afternoon. However, this afternoon you may have noticed a little more of that mugginess coming into the picture. Believe it or not, this is pretty typical for the time of the year. We usually wake up on October 1st with lows around 70 degrees, afternoon highs that begin with the number 8. So we were a little bit warmer than that, but spooky season didn't feel too bad this afternoon because the humidity has been tolerable. That changes tonight. Humidity will be back in the forecast, but it's not all bad. But if you are one of the many folks who have been asking me, Stephanie, when is that first cold front coming? I need a taste of that pumpkin spice weather. Hold out hope. Toward the end of the month on Halloween, we usually see mornings starting around 61 degrees and afternoons at 81 degrees. The catch, we lose 47 minutes of daylight, so it's going to get a little darker out there. And another bit of hope, we usually pick up around a little more than 3 inches of rainfall. We could really use that. Today's almanac showing that we weren't far from the mark. A little warm this afternoon, but not quite at that record high of 96, last hit back in 1977. But our yearly rainfall deficit now, we are in the red by more than 8.5 inches of rainfall. So we have some catching up to do. Enter the situation with our humidity. Dew point temperatures help us understand how humid it is, and we have been avoiding these oppressive 70s air you can wear. That's going to come back to the picture, and it's starting right now. So heading into tonight, don't expect that wonderful crisp feeling if you're going out for a late night dog walk. These temperatures are going to take a while to get down into the 70s tonight because that humidity is going to slow the process. So if you're taking your pup out for a walk, like Sophie, our dog walk forecast star, still going to be okay, but you'll notice more of that humidity, I think, especially into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be down in the middle 70s. By midnight, we will have those familiar humid and warm southeast winds coming back to the mix, and that could even lend to some overnight fog, patchy fog. Not expecting a whole lot of trouble for the morning commute, but something to keep in mind as we head into the early morning hours. Could be down to just a couple of miles of visibility, so keep that in mind. It won't last too long, right around daybreak. But humidity is on the rise. It's happening now, and we're going to have humid conditions with us with those dew points in the 70s well into next week. We're not complaining, though, because that's how we get rain to come back to the forecast. We're not talking phenomenal rain chances, but consistent rain chances that look even better by next week. So it's not a washout for your weekend plans. I think Art Walk this Friday will still be good, but we might need to pull the umbrella out here or there. And just goes to show we're kind of moving into a drier part of the year here in the coastal bend. Again, we went from September, where we typically expect around 5.5 inches of rainfall, now down to just over 3 inches of rainfall. But what really matters is how much we actually see. So hopefully that works out for us. I want to show you one estimate of what we're looking at. We're behind by about 8.5 inches of rainfall. An estimate from the Weather Prediction Center shows that we could make up for that over the next week. This isn't an all one-day thing, and these totals are subject to change, but we could be looking at some decent rainfall, especially heading into the beginning of next week. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Temperatures will stay pretty close to what we expect for this time of the year.